Alright guys, Will here from ZaltekReviews.com. Today I'm taking a look at another watch from Golby watches. I looked at I can't remember the name of it now. Aqua Reef or something like that, I can't remember. I'll put a picture up anyway, you can see the last model that I reviewed. I think that was their first model, or like a 1.5 version, I can't remember. But today they sent me this, it's called the Coastal, and it is a smaller watch than I would normally look. Well, no, really, I do look at 36 mils. I have done in the past, but this one, it's a dive watch, and I've always said that I would never buy a 36mm diver because like the dial is a lot smaller than you would normally expect, so it actually looks and feels smaller than it actually is, but it's nice though. It is really nice. I was quite surprised by it. I'm rattling on way too much already. Play the intro. Right guys, I'll go through the specs and everything else, and give you my thoughts as I go through. It's a really nice watch, and it is aimed at people with smaller wrists. Would I buy it? No, I wouldn't, because just for my wrist size, I mean my wrist size isn't big, I mean it's 6 3/4 inch, but I still feel it wears too small, only because it's a dive watch. Right, anyway, these are launching this month. I forgot, it's the 1st of March today. They are launching on Kickstarter. I don't have an exact date, but if you go to their website, it's getting updated all the time, and you'll find out exactly what date and what time it'll launch on Kickstarter. It is a really nice watch. I just wish it was like, for me personally, if it was a 38mm, and that's me taking a dive watch right down to the minimum size that I would wear personally. If it was a 38, I would seriously consider it. And there is a white dial version that I didn't know about, because it never got announced until later on. I already had this watch here, but there is a lot of funky colours available. Personally, for my own taste, if I can't get a white dial, like if I'm reaching out to any brand, not just Golby watches, if it's any brand at all, if there's no white dial, my second choice is always a black dial, and that's what they sent me. I'm not really into watches that are loud and extremely bright colours, you know, like yellow and lime green and whatever else, and I don't like purple either. But anyway, I'm talking a lot of pish again. Right, the pre-order price, or the launch price, when these go live on Kickstarter, is 349 Great British Pounds. Do I think that's fair? I do actually. The retail's a bit steep. I don't have the retail price here, but I do believe it starts with, if you're getting it on bracelet, that is, it starts with a 5. I could be wrong. I'll change that in the edit if it is wrong. That's too much. 349 is, I'd happily pay that. I think that's fair. Right, I'll go through the specs as per usual, my own measurements, etc, etc. Right, before I start, this watch is marketed, and I did share the specs with the owner, Craig, and he said my measurements are off. Well, I don't measure like how they'll measure the case and then they'll do the bezel separately. I want to know what the size is when I put it on my wrist, the overall diameter. So that's why my size is what it is. Right, anyway, case diameter, I measured it at 37.2, not 36, and that's because the case is smaller than the actual bezel. The bezel overhangs just slightly. Total thickness of 10.8mm, which is great. Lug to lug 43.3mm, and the watch has a 20mm lug width. The total weight with the bracelet sized up for my 6 3/4 inch wrist is 129 grams. Superb. The movement inside it is a true no date movement, so there's no ghost position. It is the Miyota 90S5, 28,800 vibrations an hour, 24 joules, hackable, self-winding with a 42-hour power reserve. The case itself is brushed and polished 316L stainless steel, as you'd expect. And finishing is great, superb. Polished accent there, or chamfered edge runs right along the top and down over the lug as well, and brushed everywhere else basically. But the bracelet does match the case, which I appreciate. Just show you going round here. All good. The bezel, by the way, is 120 click, unidirectional. It has a sapphire insert, which is nice, bonus. It's also loomed, which is great. The dial itself, it's oil pressed, and it has applied hour markers, these custom polished hands, and as I mentioned, it's a no date movement. I actually, see, when I was setting this up and I was looking at the lighting of this video, I actually found the dial look better with the lights, well, these lights off, not the main one, as you can see there. Looks great. I like that kind of wave pattern. I'm not sure how this will come across once it's colour corrected and all the rest of it, so I'll leave the lights on. What else in the dial? They've changed the logo, which I much prefer this. I mean, it's pretty much the same as the old one, but it doesn't have that square printing around the actual logo itself. That's a bad idea. This is much better. And that's basically it. Just try and give you a close up of that. Slope chapter ring as well, which is nice. Yellow setting sand on this black dial. Good contrast. Makes a change from the normal red on a black dial. Right, where was I? Friggin' hell. The loom on this, BGW9, as you'd expect, and as I mentioned, the hands, the hour markers and the Arabics and markers on the bezel itself are loomed, which is great. And the loom is pretty good. I mean, it's not outstanding, but does its job. Good enough for a diver. The bracelet. The bracelet is fully brushed, and as you can see, it's 5 link. And it is 304L stainless steel. Solid links. It has quick release pins for easy strap changing, and it has a butterfly clasp. No fan of butterfly clasps, just because of the lack of micro adjust, but I mean the links are tiny, really small, so I managed to get a perfect fit, so I'm sure you will as well. Yeah, it's signed by that G for Golby. I have been wearing it and I've no cleaned it, so shit, I should have done that before the video. So if you see any dirt or anything, I do apologise. I've still got a sticker on the back, so that'll probably help. Oh shit. Oh, I meant to say, what was the pins on this? I think it was push pins. Ah, you can see the arrows in that, and it's not pin and collar because I remembered if it was. Aye, push pins, which is fine. Are preferred screws, but hey ho. Where was it? The crystal. It's a flat sapphire, and it has 5 layers of anti-reflective coatings on the inside, which is always preferred. Yep. Does do a good job. No complaints there. Case back is 3/1. Oh, well, wait a minute. 316L stainless steel. It is screw down, and this is, it's a family owned brand, I meant to say. And that case design, the case back design, I believe it was done by founder's niece. I can't get a really good, there you go. And you've got the basic specs around the edge. That's better. The crown. The crown is where I have a problem. I mean, it's nicely done, but it's just too small. And you might think, well, it's a small watch. Well, come on. The thing is, there isn't a lot of grip, even though it looks like there is. I find it really fiddly. I think it's just because my sausage fingers. I just wish it was a bit bigger. I mean, look at the side profile. There. Could have went 6mm easy, 6.5 maybe. But I just find it, when setting the time using the crown, I find it really small. As I said, it's launching on Kickstarter sometime this month, and this time around with this model, Golby watches have decided to give it a 2-year warranty instead of the first model, which only had a 1-year warranty. That's what I like to see, so I've absolutely zero complaints on that front. It is a fantastic watch. It's really well executed, the build quality is great, the finishing's fantastic. Just the crown, So, but that's, you might find it fine. I just wish it was a wee bit bigger. But that's me talking my own personal taste. I'm still going to give it a gold award because it deserves it and it's really well done. I can't justify the retail price, as I mentioned at the start of the video, but the pre-order price, and that's when like 90% of people are going to buy it anyway. You know what I mean? £349. No problem with that whatsoever. Right, so thanks very much, Craig, for sending it. I'll get it back to you as soon as possible because I know you need it for some show or photography or whatever. But I'll get it back to you on Monday morning. Right, guys, thanks very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. That's important. I know I say it at the end of every video and I feel like I'm wasting my time, but just click the subscribe button for me, will you? Really helps. Right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Toodles!